Yo, yo, yo. All right. It is January 14th, 2026. It's Wednesday night. It's about 8 o'clock at night. I wanted to jump in here to talk about exactly what happened. First of all, the other day I recorded a video and we were having some trouble uploading it to YouTube, so it ended up coming in today. But if you go back to the previous video that I recorded, I was talking about what I was looking for, and especially over in this section right here, we were right over here, and I was saying that we are about to resolve this area. Now, I did go back to some of my previous videos, and a month ago, when we were right about here, and you could see yourself, when we were right around here, what I did say was that I was looking for it to come back up and come to this section in particular, and this still is the target. And from here, from this moment, if you were to have bought in, you would have definitely made some good gains here. If I were to measure this, so you can see kind of where we are almost about 20. We're about 20% up at this point, and I still believe that we've got more to go. We've got, I think we're coming up to this area, which is 30%. And again, when I recorded that video a month ago, it took some time to play out. And during that time, I did play these areas. I played this range right here. And again, one of the things that I said was that this was going to be an area of resistance. Now, I record these videos as kind of like a journal that I can go back and listen to myself and really kind of let myself talk to me, right? And I create a plan in these videos that I really stick to. And a lot of it really does play out. And as something that I've mentioned before, I've got a pretty good hit rate. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up to you guys was that, first of all, don't get crazy on this. We just broke structure, which means we haven't come back down here to retest the zone. And one of the things we did over here is that example. Once we break a structure, if you watch the previous video, once we break a structure, we really come back to test it. And that's what this is right there. So usually at this point, what happens is people see a large spike like this and they think the chart's going to go solo, just like that. But we've got resistance points along the way, this being one of them. So if this was a resistance area, if this was a resistance point, let's just play this out for a second, then what'll happen is it'll reject over here and it'll start to consolidate, possibly tap down back over here and then work its way back up. That is usually what happens when we break in an area. Now, it doesn't, I say usually because it doesn't have to do that all the time. Sometimes it switches it up, right? It's like it's an algorithm. So like so I do know that we are aiming to come up here. What happens when we get to this zone, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, we could be turning this whole thing into a big range like this. Okay? This can turn into a big range where, we come and we bounce up here and then we come back down, which I would assume this is the middle. This would become the middle of the range, which it would come back over here, bounce its way over here, and then try to break up over there. So we don't know yet. And if you feel like you missed that opportunity, even though, this is kind of like been hanging out here for over a month, don't sweat it. If you would like to get into a position, then always look for a lower area that you truly would like to get in. Like, what would be the best area for you to get in? Okay? And don't rush the position, because these charts are looking for people to get bearish, to get bullish, and then they swap it the other way. So last thing I'm going to say is, while we are underneath this 50% line, we are stuck in this zone until we break above and then we catch on top somehow. Okay? That's important for you to understand, is that this very well could also become the sticking point right here. And if it is the sticking point, then we find the middle, wherever the middle is, and we use that as kind of like, it's bouncing zone, okay? But we're not there yet. Now, I am going to stick to a long as long as we are in this zone. We are underneath the 50% line, which means I am long. That's why I put a long down here. Anything that's in this section, I'm looking for a long, unless we start to reject on this 50% line, because it very well could go all the way back down to the bottom of this range. Okay, so that is going to be something that I'm going to figure out. But once we cross over to this zone, we are in a brand new ballpark. Okay, that means that I would be looking not necessarily for a long, but I will be going into short mode, right? Only for a little bit of time, because that's how these charts separate. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see on the bottom half of this it's stuck to here. And then as soon as it gets to the top half, you can see it sticks to here, right? So now we are on the bottom half, and we're trying to resolve ourselves, but we don't have to. We very well could do a fake out that goes over. But again, it's kind of like we're passing ourselves off into different zones. Okay, so if you missed the move, you feel like you missed the move, you know, don't worry about it. There's plenty of time. So like, let me show you what I mean by measurement wise. So if I were to measure from here to here, this is about a 20% move. And if I were to move from here to here, this is about a 24% move. If you caught along at the bottom, then what you're looking at essentially is about a 50% gain if you bought spot on there, which is pretty good. If you put $100 in, you'd be making $150, right? That's what you would have, but you'd have to pull it at the top here. If you put $1,000 in, then you'd be, you know, $1,500 up, unless you're playing leverage. And that's exactly what I do in this section. I played leverage, and I caught this a lot. Trying to get in there, I got in at the bottom. I sold at the top. I added more at the bottom. I sold at the top. I added more over here. So I really did tap the zone. Let me do this so you can see it. I tapped the zone quite a few times, right? And now we are moving up, and I'm going to be patient for my next move. But so far, so good. I just wanted to jump on here to really talk about, you know, what's going on. We did break this. This is a confirmation right here that we have a big change of character, okay? And we are now in the start of this right here. That does not mean it's straight up all the time. It does mean that we can do a lot of this, bouncing around, right? We don't have to go straight up. In fact, we can even get even worse than that. We can do something like this, okay? Either way, whatever's going on at this point, you got to understand that this right here has now, once we get over here, we have now broken this downtrend, and we've broken this range area. Okay, that's it for now. I just wanted to kind of show that, and hopefully that was clear. I'll try to make a video again tomorrow to go over the market, but where I'm at right now is I am in a long. I'm in a long from down here, and I've already taken profit. I think once I touch this line right here, I think I'm at 100% profit, which I'll take some more profit. But also on my Ethereum trade, I am also up. I think I hit 120% on the last round, and now that I DCA'd in, I am now at another 100%. So I was able to capture both charts. So anyway, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to shoot me a message below, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe. Bye.